we did see police like running in, just doing the absolute best work that they could possibly do. It was amazing. And Alyssa Curtis has been following this through the words of our elected officials throughout the day. She's joining us live now and has City Council President Helena Moreno with her to bring us the very latest from the city. Alyssa?
Hey guys, yeah, we are here at Canal and Bourbon, joined with Council President Helena Moreno. What can you tell us right now? We heard from police obviously a few hours ago, but is there any update you can share?
Yeah, so obviously, right now working on a lot of security measures, making sure that the game goes on tomorrow at 3 o'clock. I'm very confident in the security measures that are being brought in place. You've heard about the water barriers that are becoming and building different perimeters around Superdome, around obviously areas in the French Quarter as well. Thank you to, of course, state and our federal partners who really have leaned in with additional resources. And so that's really what we're focusing on right now. I initially was not going to go to the game yesterday. I didn't have a ticket, but now after obviously everything that we've seen, and I want people to have the confidence to understand that it will be safe tomorrow. I now have bought a ticket to the game, and I will be at the game tomorrow, even myself.
You mentioned a little bit of the extra hands and resources that are coming in. What does that look like? I imagine things have changed of what they would have been had this not happened.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, I think, Alyssa, you're already seeing it right here behind you with state police. You see the Jefferson Parish Sheriff's Office Mobile Command Center. It is not just federal and state partners who are here with us now. It is also different jurisdictions, multi-parish initiative happening as well, with law enforcement coming in from all across the state. As you're also aware, we do have the National Guardsmen who are coming in also. And then not to mention, it's just an overall relook, re-review, what can be done to enhance the plan, what can be done to do things better, what can be done to do things safer. That's all happening right now.
Yeah, it's a very fluid situation. We've been talking a lot, and not just us, but everyone you saw at the press conference talking about those bollards and those barricades. Can you talk to that a little bit? I know they were kind of making their way through the French Quarter and repairing those, but it seems like that may not have helped had they even been there.
Yeah, well, as you probably are already aware, the bollards don't cover the sidewalk area to begin with, but not to mention, and other security experts have mentioned this to me, is like, Helena, take a look at, Canal Street, other potential areas where there were a lot of people. Look, bottom line though, it is time to look at what happened here, right? You have to look at, was anything missed? Could anything have been done better? And I'm not just saying, on the local level, but let's go all the way state and federal. Let's look at the intelligence side. Was something missed on the intelligence side? This man is from Texas. He's an American citizen. He was in the military. What was he doing in Texas? Apparently he traveled to other parts of the world. What was he doing there? Was there some type of red flag there missed? All of these things need to be analyzed, because let us remember, this is not just an attack on us, New Orleans. This is an attack on our country. And what we're seeing now potentially also happening in Vegas, this is an attack on our country. This is an attack on all of us as American people. So what is the federal government also doing? Leaning in to take a look at how to make us safer as Americans. It's about New Orleans for now, but how do we prevent this from ever happening again in New Orleans and in another city?
Is there anything you guys are looking at city council level, at the more local level, that things need to maybe be changed, or laws or ordinances that need to be enacted to try and prevent anything like this from happening again?
Yeah, I mean, more than anything on the city council side, we're going to lean in and listen to the experts, okay? I am not a security expert, okay? But if the security experts tell me that the city of New Orleans needs to fund a particular initiative to make the people safer, then that is what the city council should do. And that is what the mayor should do, is listen to the experts. And so that's what I plan on doing. And Alyssa, I just want to mention one more thing, because this is like a key piece. Thank you to the officers, the 3 officers who were able to take this individual down, because those 3 officers very bravely ran toward this perpetrator and took him out. And because they were able to do this so quickly, as horrible as this is, it could have been even more horrific and tragic. And to the families who are dealing with such tremendous pain and loss, just tremendous, sorrowful condolences from the leadership in New Orleans and from the people of New Orleans. I was with some of the families earlier today as they couldn't find their loved ones in any one of the hospitals, and yet their phones were still pinging as being on Bourbon Street. And so unfortunately, some of them did receive some very terrible news this afternoon. So let us keep them in our thoughts and in our prayers as we move forward through this weekend.
One last question for you. What do you want to say to residents and tourists alike who are here in the city who are still shaken up? I feel like a lot of people are still like in shock that this happened. What message do you want to send to people?
Shaken up, no doubt about it. That is a logical response to what has happened. But at the same time, I want residents to be reassured that federal, state, local, this truly is an all-hands-on-deck approach like I've never seen. The resources being brought in by the federal government, the outreach that has happened, the investigation that will take place here behind us with the FBI leading. Like I said, the level of resources that we are now receiving does make me feel very sure that we will have a safe and secure Sugar Bowl. And then moving from that point, as the plans for Mardi Gras come into play, as the plans for Super Bowl come into play, I just say this: whatever we had, how do we make it better? How do we enhance it? How do we make it, more enhanced when it comes to intelligence? How do we make it more enhanced when it comes to structural barriers? Like, what are all the different things that must now happen to make sure that something like this does not happen again?
Thank you so much. We appreciate your time. You've been really on top of this. You just heard enacting more resources for Sugar Bowl tomorrow and making sure that everyone is safe and feels safe. I want to talk again about the bollards. This has been a really big topic of conversation today. Those bollards that are usually at this intersection here at Bourbon and Canal. We heard earlier during the press conference with every official, but we heard specifically from Mayor Cantrell about how those bollards have not been working. So they were in the infrastructure package that was to be addressed in preparation for the Super Bowl. And we got some more information from the city earlier via email, and they said that they were working through the French Quarter and through Bourbon Street to fix all of those bollards and to get them ready for Super Bowl. These bollards are essentially to help prevent things like this from happening. We know Bourbon Street is a big pedestrian heavy area, so they try as best they can to avoid car traffic and vehicle traffic through this area. I'm pulling up the statement that we got a little while ago. They say the contractor began work in November 2024, starting at 2 separate locations and progressing towards Canal. So it seems like this was one of the last, if not the last location that they were going to fix those bollards at. They say the scope of the work includes removing the old bollards, replacing concrete pavement, constructing concrete bases, installing metal sleeves for the new bollards, and repouring the roadway. They say to date, 11 of the 16 bollard locations have been completed. The remaining locations are on track for completion prior to February 2nd, 2025. We know that because those bollards weren't working properly and they knew that they were not going to be deployed, they had an NOPD unit stationed there, as well as a barrier. That's according to NOPD Chief Ann Kirkpatrick. But she says, and a lot of other officials say, that this person, the suspect, was so hell-bent on creating this carnage that even if the bollards were there, this may still have happened because he drove up on the sidewalk, and that's how he got through the crowd. He drove up on the sidewalk, and they say if it hadn't been Bourbon Street at that Canal entrance, it may have been another part of Canal Street that he would have drove up on a sidewalk to commit this terrorist act. So yes, those bollards were not deployed. They did have some other resources in place because they knew that, but again, they say that nothing was stopping him. He was so hell-bent on doing this. He was in full military tactical gear, and he was just very determined. Why was he doing this? Again, we do not know yet at this moment. FBR is still combing through all of this, but Yeah, this is an ongoing investigation, and it's still a very active scene. We're now several hours out from when this first happened, and you can see this scene really has not changed much, except I think for even more crime scene tape and even more barricades and even more law enforcement presence, at least throughout the past few hours. I'm looking to my left right now, and there's been more, it looks like NOPD and possibly LSP kind of parked up in the neutral ground of Canal, and on either side, I'm looking this way, and you can see police lights as far as the eye can see. Again, we have LSP, Jefferson Parish Sheriff's Office, NOPD. So yeah, this is still a really active scene. Earlier I asked what the status of Bourbon Street will be going into, of course, Sugar Bowl. I know a lot of people are likely to want to celebrate after that game. They say they'll make a decision on when they want to open Bourbon, when it is not only safe, but when they know that they've combed through the scene and gotten as much information as they can from this scene, and they want to make sure once they do open Bourbon that it is safe and people feel safe coming to this area. So again, like you heard from Council President Helena Moreno, it is still a very fluid investigation, and we're learning more information as it comes, as the night progresses. But yeah, we are now, very far out from when that first happened, and we're still very active out here on Canal and Bourbon. Again, we'll be out here for the foreseeable future and try and get any more information we can, but for now I'll pass it back to you guys in the studio.